Hello, Raleigh. I'm Robert Schwartz, and you're not. Welcome to the Monday edition of Your Backyard with our esteemed guest, Dr. Susan Lovelle from Computer Wellness. Good afternoon, Dr.
Good afternoon, Robert.
So, very nice to have you, even though I'm pretty sure the numbers you're going to share with us aren't improved.
They're kind of steady. If you look over the last week or so, not really much has changed since we last spoke.
So, not, all right, still increasing. Couple things we noticed we wanted to talk about is the way since the numbers are not improving, there seems to be a lot of burden on teachers and parents in the school system. What's your take on that?
Well, I think right now, like for instance, in North Carolina, we're about to know one way or the other which way we're going for the upcoming season, whether people are going to be in school, going to be virtual, kind of a hybrid of both of them. And I think, it's a tough thing. We know that parents are home with their kids and some of them are getting back to school. So how is that all going to work out? But we also want to be as safe as possible. And, when I think about little kids and how, how not neat they are as far as sharing everything, it kind of makes me a little worried. Yeah.
Me too. I've got many from an elementary school kid who passed it on the mountain or daughter. A lot of this I see is based on some study where virus doesn't transmit among kids as much or doesn't seem to have an impact. Are you familiar with that study is and what it really says?
It's just that they don't get as sick. So there are some studies that are showing that perhaps they don't even get it as much, and they are looking at various reasons for that. One of those being, I think we had mentioned this before, but melatonin levels. Melatonin's higher in younger people. They're thinking that maybe that has something to do with it, but we really don't know. What I can say is that, even one child who gets it who would not have otherwise and succumbs is more than enough, at least for me.
I agree. That would be tragic. Did the study mention anything about maybe they won't catch it, but they're still can transmit it, or they?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You definitely can be silent carriers of the same. It was listening to with an adult later in MLB sports, and there was one player who had tested positive, felt completely fine, no symptoms whatsoever, and had been tested multiple times after, and eventually, passed it on to his family. So it's like you do not have to be symptomatic at all to be able to pass it. This is for young and older.
Well, that seems then like a faulty premise. Just because young people may not catch it as much, putting all these kids in the school that are not social distancing, that may or may not be wearing masks, but probably aren't washing their hands, is going to be a recipe for spreading.
It seems to be in my mind. I may be proven wrong when it happens, but you know that they can spread. That they can be asymptomatic, and to have them going back and forth just at this point. Maybe a little bit later when we have things a little better controlled, but right now we don't, and it just doesn't seem to make sense to me at this point.
Okay, well, I'm keeping my son at home, and I encourage you, Raleigh, to spend a lot of time making the right decision for you and your family. On another note, empirical observation indeed, it just appears that people are wearing masks more and more. Have you noticed a trend or seen any numbers to that effect, Dr. Lovelle?
Yeah, I have to say, absolutely. I think it is trending upwards. I mean, even when I'm going out to walk in the green area around where I live, there are people even wearing masks then. So definitely when we went to the stores, pretty much everyone had something on and people are wearing them. So I'm happy to see that at this point.
That is encouraging. I went as far as I went to one of my favorite local shops on the planet, and the owner wasn't wearing a mask, and I just did the back on out.
Yeah.
I see it almost as an affront now. If you expect me to do business with you, if you expect me to interact with you, put on a mask. Otherwise, back off.
At this point, yeah. Exactly.
Any news in the sports arena? We were talking a little bit about Toronto earlier.
Yeah, so just heard that Toronto is not going to be able to play their home games in Toronto. They do not want that cross-border traffic. So that's going to be an interesting thing. They're going to have to go to, not sure where it's going to be yet. Maybe Buffalo, maybe Florida, but that's one thing. Yes, interesting.
I applaud them for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see Disney's reopening, and I'm very concerned that this is just going to push it way back to phase one. If we keep reopening things and mixing up the population.
And mix up exactly. And yesterday, actually the last couple of days, MLB has a shortened season, and so my husband and I got it. He's a Yankees fan. And so we were watching the Yankees-Mets inter-squad. I don't even know what they call it. But, some of them had on masks and some didn't. I'm like, what? So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Nor do I. But I can guess if we don't start stemming the tides. Since things aren't really improving, and maybe they're not getting worse, any news on vaccines or treatments or any updates along the lines of potential medical breakthroughs?
Not anything specific. Like I mentioned before, the only thing that looks like it might be hopeful is dexamethasone, which is a very common steroid, which lowers inflammation. But other than that, no, we don't. So, essentially the best thing is, the best offense is a good defense. Is that what you say? Yeah. Good. You know what I mean. The opposite.
You did a Robert.
The other way around. So take care of yourself. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, to that end, I know you've been sponsoring a lot of seminars and education opportunities about health and immunity. Are you still meeting?
Absolutely. Every Tuesday, I decided to just make them so that everyone knows Tuesday evening, 7 p.m., there's going to be a topic on health.
And off the top of your head, what's the topic tomorrow?
Tomorrow is stress hormones and immunity. How about that?
Stress hormones and what?
And immunity, how they're all interconnected. Yes.
I assume the hormones don't help.
No, well, they can if you have them in control. So, yeah. But this, when you got those stress hormones going out of whack, which they are with a lot of people right now, it's not really great for your immune system.
It's the further we get into this, I get so frustrated that so many people aren't doing their part that it just takes and ramps up that stress by a factor of about 4 or 5. So,
Right.
Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. If y'all want to check it out, please, it's Premier Wellness. You can find it online on Facebook. You can use Facebook, reach out to me or Dr.
Absolutely.
Well, Dr. Lovelle, let's end with this. It's not getting worse.
That's a good thing.
All right, Raleigh. Well, thank you for joining us. Please reach out to Dr. Susan Lovelle, Premier Wellness, anytime, especially if you would like to learn more about how to de-stress, and improve your immunity. She and everything you need local health-wise is right here in your backyard, Raleigh. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.